So it is the start of a brand new season and the fans are back in the stadiums, and quite possibly we can do it this year. Stick around. Hello friends and welcome back to the Blue Pride of London. I am your host Nathan and it's an absolute joy to have all you here today. Thank you so much for tuning in. So if you have in fact stumbled across us since the first time that you've seen us, or even if it hasn't, if you've not yet subscribed to the channel, it would mean so much to me if you would consider doing so. And if at any point you've enjoyed this video, just hit the thumbs up button just down there and maybe the bell. That way you can stay up to date with all the content that we release on the channel. So with the admin out the way, it is now looking forward to the brand new season, and we have quite a nice game to start off with. So let's have a quick little look at the teams. Let's have a little look of a breakdown and maybe a bit of a score prediction as well. I reckon that would be quite nice. So let's jump straight into it. So Chelsea, the supreme champions of Europe. Not only do we have the Champions League, but we've also got the Super Cup under our belts already. We start off our season on Saturday afternoon with what could possibly be an easy victory against Crystal Palace at home. Now, before we start the game, I don't know if there's going to be a small little cup presentation to show the home fans on the first game of the season the two trophies that we have won. Obviously, we did sort of show off the Champions League Cup when we played our friendly against Tottenham. But now that we've got another one, there might be a short little trophy celebration just before the game. But yeah, a home game to start off with is always quite nice. It is nice to start the season in front of your own fans, to try to get the roar of the crowd, to try to get everything going. And yeah, Crystal Palace is, it is a nice game to start off with. We have a good history against Crystal Palace. It is one of the teams that we do quite well like in the past. I think we've had a couple of hiccups every now and then, but generally we do dominate such games. But this particular game could be quite different. It is Patrick Vieira's first season in charge of the Eagles, and we don't quite know, or I don't quite know, how they would line up or how they would look. He has had a small career in the American League before he's come over to sort of like manage the London club. So trying to predict how they're going to play and how they're going to line up will be very, very difficult. So it would be quite interesting to see what the new Crystal Palace looks like under the new era. But we do have a rough idea on how Chelsea is going to line up and what they're going to look like, considering that, we've had 6 months of Thomas Tuchel in charge. We have a rough idea of what his team's going to look like. So let's have a little look at my predicted lineup for this particular game. So this is the team that I have gone for. It's the traditional 3 at the back with the wing backs, 2 in midfield and the lone striker. And in goal, I've gone for Mr. Reliable. Mendy is our first choice goalkeeper. Yes, Kappa did sensational in the penalty shootouts in the Super Cup, but we have to remember he is still technically our second choice goalkeeper. So there's no reason why I would not assume that Mendy would start this. I think Kappa is still going to be used as our main cup goalkeeper. And obviously, of course, if there is an injury towards Mendy. But in the league and probably the Champions League, I do feel that Mendy will be our number 1 choice going forward. In defence, the defensive 3, I have changed it up slightly compared to my last prediction for the Super Cup. I have put Christensen in the centre 3 and with Rudiger and Azpilicueta either side of him. I did wonder if Thiago Silva would in fact start this game, but considering of his age and the idea that maybe he's going to start starting less and less and less, and we're going to try to bring in somebody new, either Zuma or Christensen. But again, we are also still trying to sign another defender to sort of bring in as well. This is probably Thiago Silva's last season at Chelsea. Yeah, he has signed the extension. We don't know if he's going to sign any more. I think he's 37 now, so by the end of the season, he'll be 38. And obviously going into next season, he'll be just getting older and older and older, which doesn't mean he's not a good defender. I think he's still going to get used quite a fair bit. But I think starting this season out, they're going to sort of like push forward the players that are going to sort of eventually replace him sort of going forward, really. So either side, I have gone for Alonso on the left and Callum Hudson-Odoi on the right-hand side. My perfect start would be Ben Chilwell and Reece James, but considering that they are still not really sort of kicked the ball in anger since, since the Champions League final, basically, neither one of them sort of appeared in the Euros. Well, Ben Chilwell didn't even make the squad, mostly. I still think maybe Alonso and Callum Hudson-Odoi, who he seems to be wanting to sort of like bleed into that new sort of role, sort of running up and down the wings. So that will be my sort of like idea that will go forward in this particular fixture. In midfield, sort of like that defensive duo of Kante and Jorginho. So those two guys, they're brilliant. They seem to read each other's minds. You've got Kante just sitting there swiping up any sort of advanced tackles, and then you've got Jorginho just sort of with that forward thinking, passing forward. And then in the attacking sort of like tens, I'm going to go for Mason Mount and also Kai Havertz. I would like to see more of Pulisic in sort of the Chelsea games, especially starting. But Thomas Tuchel seems to see him as a sort of potential sort of like a player that can affect the game coming off the bench rather than an actual starter. And up front, all by himself, we've got Timo Werner. I was and ahhing, would Lukaku actually start this game? But considering he was announced as a Chelsea player on Thursday afternoon, quite late in fact, he's only going to have 1 day in training, and then obviously Saturday the game comes along. Now, probably he's going to be on the bench for this game and maybe come on as a sub midway through the second half, but I can't quite see him, even though we did pay 97.5 million for him, that he is not quite ready to start. Maybe against Arsenal in the next game after he's had a week worth of training, but not in this particular game. So that is my prediction for the lineup going into Crystal Palace. Now, I don't see any reason why Chelsea would lose this game. The Chelsea squad are very sort of tight. They're in good spirits. They are coming off the back of the Super Cup win. So they're sort of like, their passion is very, very high at the moment. And the fact that, they, again, like I said before, it is a home game. They're going to be in front of the home supporters, and it's going to give them that extra little bit of a lift. We don't know what type of team Patrick Vieira is going to bring out. It is still a mystery until we see a few more games under his belt to see if they're going to be sort of like attacking minded, defensive minded, or just generally that we're here to survive. So I'm predicting probably a 3-1 victory for Chelsea. So yeah, that's my prediction for this particular game. I would love to see Lukaku come on during the second half and score in his new debut, because it will be lovely for him to not only score his first goal of the season, it's his first goal in a Chelsea shirt, and it will also be his like sort of like brand new debut as well. And in front of the home fans, I think that will be absolutely sensational. But like always, I would like to hear your comments. What do you think of my lineup? What would your lineup be for this particular game? And what is your score prediction? So please type in the comments below anything you would like to chat about, and I will get back to you as and when. But until next time, guys, let's all enjoy the football. Let's have a lot of fun, and let's welcome back the Premier League. So until next time, thank you so much, and I'll see you later. Cheerio.